Hello there, it's Miss Rector again. Here to talk to you about taking notes here in forensics class. So it's going to be part of your grade, so make sure you get that easy part of your grade is taking the notes out of the book. So let's take a quick look at the book and see what I expect from you again. So you can take notes in a regular old spiral notebook if you like. You're just going to have to take screenshots or pictures of it and put those in. Let's say you can make it into a Google slide with all the pictures on a different page and send that to me for when I collect notes. That is perfectly fine. I actually encourage handwritten notes. I think you take more digested notes when you do that because your brain has to process it because you don't want to write everything down. On the other hand, typing, I can type lots of things and never understand any of it. So here is what your book looks like. You're going to get little files like this while we're on remote learning. In the classroom, you'd have an actual textbook with you. So the first page gives you kind of a little story or something that relates to the chapter, and then you have all the vocabulary. So you definitely need to know the vocab, right? So the vocab should definitely be in your notes. Then you get into the sections, and basically when I take notes, what I try to do is, here's an introduction. Is there anything in bold in there? Then it may already be a vocab word that you already wrote down on the first page. If not, you definitely need to write it down. Anything that says, anytime there's a title, what's an observation? Read this and look for it's describing what observations are. So I should probably know what that is. Witnesses, anything in there that's important. Eyewitness accounts. So you're going to want some stuff in there about that. Basically, for every heading, I try and take a little bit of notes over what that thing just said. So I'd read over these couple paragraphs, and try to sum it up in just a sentence or so. So to give you a little more, let's look at some notes I took. So you're going to take notes over section 1, and then you can compare them to mine and see what you got. Those of you that want to do notes digitally, I will put this digital notebook on the Google Classroom so you can make a copy for yourself. Here is my copy. I went ahead and did the first section just to show you. You can see here on the side, you could click and go to any chapter. You can add more slides into each chapter as you need them. So there we go. Let's go to chapter 1. I got all my vocabulary in there. And then for each of those sections, I tried to write down at least a sentence about it. So there's something about eyewitness accounts, can vary from person to person, depending on who is paying attention, as well as any prejudices, personal beliefs, motives, things like that. So again, it said how to be a good observer, and it gave me some steps. So obviously I'm writing that down. So not a lot. It didn't take me a whole lot to sum up that chapter. Now, there will also be sort of when we're in class, there'll be like a lecture time too. So I'd have you read first and take notes from the book. And that is to get, these ideas in your head, start you thinking about it, get the vocabulary down. And then when we start discussing it in class, in the normal classroom setting, if you had any questions, like if you were like, I'm not sure about this emotional state stuff it said, you put a question mark here, you ask me that question in class, then you can add to your notes, of course. But on NTI, your lessons like that will probably be screencasts of lecture type things, but then we'll also be getting together too. So if you do have questions, when you can leave some room to put in the clarification in there. You can hopefully tell if you've had good notes if you go to the end of the chapter. I'll go back here. So at the end of the chapter, it kind of gives you some questions and stuff. If you can answer the questions at the end of the chapter, then you don't have to write them all out. I'm not, unless it's an assignment, but you can look at that and say, do I know that? Is that true or false? Do I know the answer to this? Do I know the answer to this? And if you do, then you've probably taken some pretty good notes. Okay, thank you. You guys have a good day.